Okay, so this part, we still have two more complicated questions, okay? So instead of just saying the product, right? The first two questions, we only did two, right? Last time. Product is minimum, product is maximum.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, the phone number 6.
Okay, so other than that, sometimes they would want you to have something maximum, minimum, okay? A little bit more complicated. We'll look at question C, okay? The general setup is the same. You still start with the last statement, okay? But because this one is a little bit difficult, right? A little bit different. So we'll start with an example first, okay? Like the tables that we did before. So here we have the sum of two numbers 16, that part is okay, okay? The second sentence, the sum of their square is a minimum, okay? So that's the new things. So make a table first, okay? Just a small table. We have our first number, we have our second number, okay? So we want the two numbers to have a sum of 16. So can someone give us an example? Two numbers, they have a sum of 16. Okay, Bernice? Just a random number.
2 and 12, sorry, 2 and 14.
Okay, very good. 2 plus 14 give you 16. Right, so let's start with that. And then next part, the thing that you want to make it minimum is the sum of their square, right? Look at the bracket I put around. You want to make the sum of their square to be minimum. Compared to the question before, okay? Like question A, the thing that you want to make it minimum is only the product, right? Much shorter. Same with question B. The thing you want to make it maximum is just the product, right? Both A and B is only referring to product. For question C, the thing you want to make it minimum is not just the product, it's the sum of their square, okay? So in your table, you need to write sum of their squares. Okay, so what that means is you take their square, right? You square each of the number, like first number square, second number square, and then you add them up. That's called a sum. That's the meaning of sum of their square. Make sense? Okay, so let's try another one. Okay, so let's get another pair of numbers. Okay, Jenny, can you give me another number?
1 and 15.
Sure. Okay, so 1 and 15. So how do we write out the sum of the square? Tony?
Pardon?
How do we write out the sum of squares for these two numbers?
Just row 1 squared plus 15 squared.
Yes, okay. And can you help me find out what that equals?
That equals to 1 plus 225.
Which is
226.
yeah, 226. Okay. And Isabella, can you help us find the answer for the first part? The sum of the square for the first pair.
200.
200. Okay. So far, the one that is smaller is the 200, right? So far the minimum, right? Minimum is the smallest. So far is the 2 and 14. Okay. So we want to make the sum of the squares as small as possible. Okay, that's what it means, minimum. So of course we can keep on doing guess and checking, right? And then until to make it even smaller and smaller. Kat has an example. She said it's 8. You want to use 8? Let's write down 8. 8 and 8, that makes 16. And then we have 8 squared plus 8 squared. Right, then that will give you 128. Okay, so that one beats the first pair, right? So how do we know if that is the minimum? Right, because so far, by the look of it, right? So far, that's a winner. So is it possible to make it even smaller? Okay, so that's the question. So we need to use parabola, our quadratic function, to help us to show that it is the lowest or not. Okay, maybe we could find something smaller. Okay, so we'll start with less statements now. So we'll draw a line here. Okay, we'll start with step 1. Okay, we write the let. So we have let statement for the first number, let statement for the second number, right? And then we should have, try to compare what we did before, right? We have the sum of the square, right? Before, look at question A. Before was the product, right? The let statement, we use product. This time it's not the product. This time is the sum of the squares. Okay, any questions so far? So Aaron, what do we put inside the let statement now?
The first one is M, and the second one is N.
And then
And the sum is Y.
sum of the square is
Is
y.
it Y?
Yeah, yeah, very good. So you always let the thing that you want to make it maximum or minimum to be y, okay? Because the y, when we talk about max value or the minimum value is the y value of the vertex, okay? So it has to do with the y. Okay, now step 2, we need to set up the function. Okay, function is starting with a y, right? So to find the sum of the square, how do we set it up now? Okay, how do we write out sum of the square using our let statement? Henry?
You write y is equal to m squared plus n squared.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so compare with the one we had before. Before was just product, right? So y equals to m times n, first number times second number. But for this one, because we're doing sum of squares, so your setup for the function is different. You have to follow the question. So it tells you to square the first one, add it with the square of the second one, right? That's sum of square. But then we cannot have so many variables, right? So you have to go to the side. The thing that connects the m and n is m plus n has to be, what is it? 16, right? So now we can use it to replace one of the variable. Okay, so we can isolate the m. So if you isolate the m, what does it equal now, Geoffrey?
Negative n plus 16.
Yeah, very good. Okay, I'm going to write it as 16 minus n. Okay, so I don't have a negative at the front. So it's the same. Okay, or you can write negative n plus 16, either way. So this part is going to replace the m. Okay, so now your function will look like 16 minus n, which is m, right? Square, that's our, what is it, the first number, right? First number square plus the second number square. So that is our function to start. Okay, try to compare with the previous question. So we are now at the green start. Okay, the step is at a green start now. Okay, so instead of product, we have sum of the square. Okay, can you raise your hand if you have no question up to here? Okay, am I going too fast? It's okay. All right, so after that, right, if you look at before, once you got a function, you turn it into general form, right? You need to expand the brackets, get the general, and then do the factor A divide by 2 balance, get the standard form, write the vertex, okay? Once you got the vertex, you are like 90% finished, right? Okay, so I'll let you carry that out. Okay, please change this into general form and then the standard form. Be careful when you try to square the brackets, okay? The 16 minus n squared, 16 minus n bracket square is not 16 square minus n square, okay? Please remember that. This is wrong, okay? Think about how to do that. Let you carry that out. Okay, once you got to the standard form, okay, please raise your hand. We'll check the standard form first. Okay, you must have the standard form correct or your final statement will be wrong. Okay, can we check the general form first? Okay. Mackenzie, do you have the general form? Okay, do you need help doing getting to general form? You can turn your mic. Mackenzie? Mackenzie, can you turn on your mic? Are you there?
Hello?
Yeah. Okay, so do you need help expanding, getting the general form?
Oh, we need to expand that?
Yeah, you need to expand the brackets, combine the like terms, put
Oh,
it in order. Okay, general form.
so this bracket 16 minus n and another bracket 16 minus n.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so you expand those two brackets and then you add the n squared, put it in order. Okay. So once you have the general form, let me know. Okay, I need to check that. And if anyone else have already got to standard form, please raise your hand. Okay, Mackenzie, you can just turn on your mic, okay? Just like in class, you don't need to text me during class, right? You just open your mic, you can tell me.
256 minus 32 n.
Okay, can you tell me the step by step what you did?
So I do bracket 16 minus n and another 16 minus n
Mm-hmm.
and plus n squared.
Plus n squared, yeah, and then?
And I do 256 minus 16n
Mm-hmm.
and minus 16n
Yeah.
and minus n squared plus n squared.
Okay, so this part, negative n times negative n, that should give you plus
Oh
n,
wait, plus n squared.
okay, and then plus another n squared, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay, continue and then combine it.
256
Mm-hmm.
32n.
Plus or minus?
Oh, minus
Minus 32n, and then?
plus 2n squared.
Yeah, plus 2n squared, and then put it in order. Descending
2n
order.
2n squared
Mm-hmm.
minus 32n
Yeah,
plus 256.
okay. And then from there, so right now what you got is the general form. Okay, you want to turn this into standard form so you can get the vertex. Okay, so continue from there. If you got the vertex, please raise your hand. So far, we only have 4 people. So all these steps should be what you've done many times, right? Getting to general form to standard form. So the hardest part is to get the correct function to start with. Okay, the green star, the part that I highlighted, that's why you need to learn the most, how to get that function. And then the rest is just algebra, right? Expanding correctly, make sure your signs are correct, combine the like terms. Okay, let's check a few APQ, okay, for the vertex, okay, APQ. I'll just write it on the side, okay? All right, Bernice, what's your APQ?
For A, I got 2,
And
P equals 8, and Q equals negative 103.
so like that, negative
Yeah.
100, okay. All right, and Isabella, what do you have for APQ?
A, I got 2, and then P, negative 32. And then Q, wait, no, P is negative 16, and then Q is,
Q is,
think it's 103 too.
well, 103 positive,
Negative.
okay. Okay, so you have a different P. Okay, Angeline, how about yours?
I got 2, negative 16, and negative 103.
Double check your general form, okay? Make sure your general forms are all the same, right? If your general form is wrong, it will affect your standard form. Anyone else want to add to the list of the answers? Anyone else got different APQ? Everyone got the same?
Jason,
Yeah,
Um,
Aaron.
I think I got, for A, I got 2,
Mhm,
and then P, I got 8,
mhm,
and Q, I got 128. Cause like, I divided the 2, like in the standard form.
mhm. Okay,
So like, yeah, it was like 2 and then bracket n squared minus 16n.
yeah, you need to factor A, right?
Yeah, I factored it.
Yes, very good, yeah. Anyone else want to add to the list?
I got A equals 2,
Yeah,
P equals 8, and Q equals 192.
192, okay. So yeah, so I think we have enough different answers now. We'll go over it, okay? So as you can see, this part, getting APQ is still a trouble for some of you. So make sure, okay, you review how to do it properly. Otherwise, it affects everything you learn in this chapter, right? Even up till now, APQ is still important. So let's start, okay? Step 1, factor A. A is the 2, right? So you factor the 2 out. Remember, you ignore the 256 for now, okay? For when you factor the 2 out, means you divide it by 2. So it become minus 16n. This is called step 1, factor A. Okay, if you forgot, you can go back to the notes, okay, how to change to standard form. Factor A, divide by 2 means you take the middle number, which is negative 16, you divide that by 2. So you plus negative 8, right? Because negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8. Square and bracket. So that's called divide by 2. Anyone has questions so far? Factor A, divide by 2. Now we need to balance. Balance is the part that's the hardest for most of you, okay? You added something extra, right? So you need to subtract the extra to balance it back. So you subtract the negative a squared and then times it by the 2 that you factor out. And then finally, remember you cross out the 256. At the beginning, you need to add it back. Okay, you pretended it was not there, so you have to put it back. Okay, so that's the 3 steps. Factor A, divide by 2, balance. Now the part before we write down the standard form, okay, the part on the back here, right, the green part, that's usually the part that's difficult, right? If you have a calculator that can show what you type, you just type exactly what you see, then it will get you the answer. If not, you follow the order of operation, okay? You do exponent first. So you square the negative 8, that will give you 64, right? Times it by 2, but then there's a subtraction at the front. So you have to keep that, plus 256, okay? And then negative 64 times 2, that's negative 128 plus 256, right? You do multiply next. Okay, and then that should give you positive 128. Right, so that's for the outside, right? The Q. So now we're ready to write down our APQ. It'll be 2 bracket n, right? You take the front, which is n, and then you take the back, which is negative 8, and then you put the square outside. And then you have plus 128. All right, so your APQ should be the only answer that's right is this one, right? All correct, okay? Most of you got part of it, got the 2 right, got the P correct, okay? Yeah, but the only one that's Q is correct is this one,
I
okay?
have a question.
Yeah.
How did you get the negative 8 again?
You mean the green underline?
Yeah, that green underline.
Okay, you take the middle term, which is negative 16.
Right, and then you just put it there.
And then you divide it by 2.
And then you put it on the side.
Yeah, on the side, yeah.
Yeah, on the side.
Okay, behind it, right? If the middle term is negative 10, then you will plus negative 10 square, negative 5 square. Got it, Tony?
Got it.
Okay. Be careful, okay? So getting the right APQ is very, very important, especially in this chapter, okay? So let's erase all that answer. Okay, so our vertex, you write down our vertex. So where is the vertex then, Naomi? Naomi, what's the vertex? I cannot hear you. Is your mic connected properly? Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, it works now. Okay, so where's the vertex then?
The vertex is 8 and 128.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so the 8 is our n. Okay, remember the variable that we have in this function is the n and the y, right? So the variable n is for the 8. So we have n equal to 8. And our y is 128. Now, if you look at your last statement, the last statement tells you that the second number is n, right? The sum of square is the y. Okay, so we are ready to write out our sentence. Okay, so let's put our step 3 over here then. Okay, we're running out of space. Okay, so we can put it there. So we can say the two numbers are, okay, our second number is n, which is 8, right? We found out it's 8. And then if you want to get the first number, you look at it on the side. M, which is first number, is 16 minus n. So 16 minus 8 is also 8. So two numbers are 8 and 8. I think it was it Cat said that non-answer, right? Yeah. So the two numbers are 8 and 8 with a minimum value of 1 to 8, which matches our guess at the beginning. Okay, so this is the correct answer on the table, right? So it will be impossible to get anything lower than 128. Okay, so the two numbers must be 8 and 8. Okay, any question about this one? Okay, can you raise your hand if you're ready to move on to D? We need to control our space, okay? So okay, Tony and Wilson, do you have any questions for C?
Not really.
Okay, all good. We'll look at this one now. Okay, so try to compare with the last question, right? So two numbers, right? Also two numbers, right? Have a difference of 16 instead of sum. This time we have a difference, right? Difference of 16. And the thing that you want to make it minimum, right? This time is also minimum. What's the thing that you want to make it minimum this time, Henry?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
What's the thing that you want to make it minimum in question D?
The product?
Not just the product. Otherwise, it will be like question A and B, right? Too simple.
Oh, there's sum and the product.
Adding their sum and their product, okay? So it's the whole thing here. The result
Okay.
of adding their sum and product. This whole thing in the bracket, okay? You want to make that minimum. So compare with question C, right? Question C is saying the sum of their square is minimum. This time is the result of adding their sum and their product is minimal. Okay, so let's try with an example, okay? Because this time is a lot longer, right? Result of adding their sum and their product, so I don't want to write the whole thing down. I'll just call that the result. We want to make this result to be minimum, okay? So let's try an example then. Let's get two numbers first.
Mr. Jason, can't you just do 0 and 16?
Okay, 0 and 16, they have a difference of 16, right?
Right.
And how do we find their result? What do you do? Yeah, Wilson?
Basically, you do 0 plus 16
Mm-hmm.
and then bracket and then plus bracket 0 times 16.
Very good. Okay, 0 times 16. So you add it, right? Add them, it's called a sum.
I think
Multiply
it's,
together is the product.
is it 16 at the end? It's
Yeah,
equal to
it's
16, yeah.
So the result will be 16. You add the sum and the product. So right now, that's the only one, right? That's the only example we have. Can we beat that, right? Can we have something that make it even smaller? Anyone wants to try any other other choice?
Jason, is negatives allowed? Like
Yeah,
negative numbers?
Yeah, it didn't say what kind of number, right? So any number, even decimals if you like.
Oh, okay.
So you want to give it a try?
Sure. 8 and -8?
8 and -8. Do they have a difference of 16?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. 8 subtract -8 is 16, right? They're 16 apart. Okay, how do we get the result?
So first you find the sum, which is 8 minus 8, which is, and then you add that with 8 times -8.
Okay, so I'll write it out. Looks like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Can you tell me what's the result then?
It's -64.
So it'll be 0 plus -64. So -64. Yes, okay, you beat that. Very good. -68 is smaller. Okay, smaller than 16. So far, -64 is the minimum. Can we make it even smaller? So that's the question. Okay, so we want to find out, is that really the minimum value? So like before, we're gonna start with the let. Okay, first number, second number, and result, right? And then of course we have something that you need to do on the side, right? You can see the format now. And then you need to write out the function. Okay, so please, I'll let you try go to the function. Okay, see if you can get to the yellow highlighted part. Okay, so compare, right? The start, the green start. So once you got a function, okay, before you change it to general form, okay, when you got to the function, please raise your hand. We'll check that first. Okay, we have 4 people got the functions now. Go to the same order, okay? First number m, second number n, result is y, okay? Just like before. Okay, let's check the function. We have 10 of you, right? Already got the function. Okay, Anya, what's your function?
I got y equals 16 minus n plus 16 minus n times n.
So in brackets, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Geoffrey, what's yours look like?
Same thing except it, instead of negative is plus.
Which part?
The 16 minus n parts.
Oh, so like here, both of them?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have 2 kinds, 16 minus n plus n, 16 minus n times n. Okay. Any other answers? Kat, what do you have?
I have the same as the first one.
The top one?
16 minus n plus n.
The one you have is 16 minus n or 16 plus n?
The top one.
The top one, okay. Okay. Anyone else? Angeline, have you got a function?
I got the same thing as the first one.
The top one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay, let's go over, all right? So it tells you that on the side, okay? We need to go to the side first, right? So they have a difference. Difference means subtracting, right? Subtracting the 2 numbers, they need to be 16. So m minus n equal to 16. Okay, of course, you can also do n minus m equal to 16. Doesn't matter, right? Because it's 2 numbers, they subtract equal to 16. So let's say if I just use the first one, okay? And then now the function, it tells you to do the sum. So m plus n, right? That's the sum. Adding with the product. So m times n. Okay? And then from the side, if you isolate the n, so that means you need to move the minus n to the other side. So it will become 16 plus n, or n plus 16. Okay, so that should be adding. Okay, so if I replace it with the m, it will be m plus 16 plus n, or n 16 plus, or keep it the same order. Okay, so not so confusing. M is 16 plus n, add the n, and then 16 plus n, that's the first number, times the n. Okay, so that should be our function. Okay, this is one of the way, okay? We have, because with the way we set up on the side is n minus n equals 16. Okay, if you do it the other way, right? So this part you don't need to copy, okay? We're just gonna pick one way, right? But I'm just saying that if it's the other way around, if you instead of doing n minus n, you do n minus m. Okay, I'll use the green, okay? So you don't get confused. If you use n minus m as equals 16, okay? And you try to isolate m. So it'll be negative m equal to 16 minus n, right? And then you need to divide by negative on both sides. So it'll be negative 16 plus n, which is the same as n minus 16. Okay, so if you are using the other one, the other order, so it will be n minus 16 instead of 16 plus n. So either way, you cannot get the 16 minus n, okay? So this is not correct. 16 minus n is when you have a sum, okay? If they say the sum have the sum of the two numbers is 16, then the other one will be 16 minus n. Okay? So we'll just stick with one way, all right? We'll use this one. Okay, we'll simplify it now. So y equals 16 plus 2n plus expand, okay, multiply n, expand your bracket, 16n plus n squared. Okay, I'll let you carry out the rest, get the general form and standard form. Okay, I hope this time everybody can get the same standard form. Okay, not so many answers like before, all right? So raise your hand once you have the APQ and we'll check again. I think by now you should have the general form, right? Let's check the general form first. Tony, do you have the general form?
Nope.
No?
I haven't. I'm trying to write down the last example.
Last example, you mean question C?
Yeah,
You are still working on question C?
I'm just writing some like the parts that I need to remember.
Okay, I see. What about question D? Do you understand what we did just now?
Yeah,
Okay, and make sure you were not doing something else when we were going over it. Okay.
correct. Okay.
How about you, Wilson? Do you have the general form?
No, I'm a bit confused. I don't really know how to turn into general because it's different from the other ones.
Where are you lost?
This part,
Which
like,
part?
what am I supposed to take out of the function? Like when, like for this one, you took out 2, but then what am I supposed to
You
take out
don't
for
need to
this?
You don't need to take out anything. We are not going to standard form yet. We want to get a general form. So all you need to do is to combine the like terms and then put in order. Do you know what like terms are?
You mean like the M and N?
Yeah, combine them.
Huh?
Okay.
No. So then, do I just plug everything in?
Add them up. I don't understand why you plug everything in. I don't know.
No, like to like 2n. Do I put like 16 or -8 inside, or do I just add the current numbers?
Yeah, you add them up. Add the ones that you can add together. You don't plug in anything.
Well then, could you walk me over it? I'm so confused. How do I add them up?
You have 4 terms here, right? Do you see I underlined it?
Yeah,
Okay, which ones are like terms?
2n, 16n.
Add them up.
So then it's 18n.
Yeah. And then put it in descending order. So which one goes first?
Is it n squared?
Yeah, n squared and then,
And then plus 18n, and then plus
Yeah.
16.
yeah, plus 18n plus 16. So this is called the what form?
Is it general?
Yeah, this one is called the general form. And then from there, you do the factor A divide by 2 balance to get to standard form. Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, let me know when you got it. Before you try to factor A divide 2 balance, you have to get to general form first.
Okay, so I don't have it completely done, but I have it so far. Is it can I say it?
Yeah.
It's like n bracket. It's like the n bracket. It's because I've okay, just like n bracket n plus 9 n plus 3 squared bracket.
Bracket. Okay, let me write it down. You said bracket and then n.
Like n bracket n and then plus.
Oh, you factor the
Yeah.
n. Okay, did you factor the n out?
Yeah.
You shouldn't factor the n.
It's one on the other.
Yeah,
the
you
on
need
the
to
A.
factor the 1. Okay, you factor the number, not factor the variable. Wilson.
Oh yeah, there's the one there. I forget. Sorry.
Invisible 1. Okay, you
Mhm.
put a 1 out and carry on.
Is it
Mr.
n
Jason,
n2?
N squared.
Yeah, n squared and then plus 9n
No.
plus
Before you
18n.
take 1 out. If you divide by 1, what do you get?
18n.
Okay, Tony, you gotta let Wilson answer it, okay? Tony?
Okay.
18n, and then plus 9n
Plus 9 squared.
squared,
Yeah,
yeah.
go on.
and then bracket
Yeah,
minus 9 squared,
yeah, go on.
and then is it 1 times 1, like bracket 1,
That's right, times
and then
1
plus 16.
plus 16. Good. Go on, next step.
Mm. Is it let's see, 1 bracket n n plus 9,
Mm-hmm.
and then squared,
Bracket squared.
yeah, bracket squared, and then let me do the back.
Yeah.
1 moment. And is it plus 65?
Plus 65.
Yeah, I think it's 65.
Okay, does anyone have the same? Is this plus 65? Tony, do you have the same?
Let me calculate it first.
Okay, follow the order of operation. Okay, for the numbers on the back, you need to follow the order of operation. You're so close, right? Don't make a mistake at the end.
Can I say the answer?
Yeah, what's
I got negative 65.
yeah, okay, should be negative 65. Wilson? Wilson?
All right, because it's negative 81 plus 16. Yeah, sorry,
this
that's my bad.
minus will never disappear, okay? Because
Okay.
the square doesn't affect that. It's always minus, okay? So the vertex, Jenny, where's the vertex then?
The vertex would be 9 and negative 65.
What's the P?
Oh, negative 9, sorry.
Yes, okay, very good. Okay, for P, you need to reverse the sign in the bracket. Q is whatever that's after the square, okay? That's our vertex. And the variable tells us the negative 9 is the N, right? And then the negative 65 is the Y. So we can start answering in the sentence, okay? So the two numbers, let's draw the answer box. Okay, so our step 3 is to write a statement, okay? The two numbers
n plus n
are
is okay.
right. So what are the two numbers then? Geoffrey?
Negative 9 and 65.
No, no. The negative 65 is for the Y,
Oh,
the other number.
would it be negative 9 and negative 9?
No. Negative 9, is that for the first number or second number? Geoffrey?
What?
Is negative 9 for the first number or second number?
First number?
Why?
Wait, what do you mean by first number and?
We have two numbers, right? Look at your last statement.
Oh,
What does it say in the last statement?
Let first number equals m and second number equals n.
Okay, so your -9, is that for first number or second number?
It would be first number.
How come?
Because isn't that the m?
Look at the screen. Are you looking at the screen? -9. Is it n or m?
Oh, n.
Because we
So
only
it's
have
second.
two variables here, right? One variable is the n, the other variable is the y. The m is already gone. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So your second number is -9. How do you get the first number then? Do you know how to get the first number?
16 plus -9.
Yes, okay. You have to look at the side, right? Because the m has to be 16 plus n. So what's that?
So that would be 7.
Okay, 16 plus -9 will give you 7. So the two numbers are,
-9 and 7.
that's right, okay? Because so far we've done only 4 questions, right? And then most of them are either the same, right? We have 8 and 8. We have 6 and 6. We have like 8 and -8, is it? Before? Or was it? Oh, -4 and 4, right? For question A, we have -4 and 4. So you are probably thinking, oh, maybe the numbers will be the same, okay? Not always, okay? As the question gets more complicated, the two numbers could be different as well, okay? So in this case, the two numbers are -9 and 7. So go back to the table on the top. Our first number is 7, right? From our, well, what happened? Okay, our first number was, we found it to be 7. Second number is -9. The sum plus the product. You can try it out, right? 7 plus -9 is -2. -2 plus, what's that? -63, right? That give you -65. So that is lower than -64 by a little bit, right? So it's still lower, minimum, okay? -64 is pretty good, right? But it's not there yet, right? Not a minimum. Okay, so with the function, we can guarantee -65 is as low as we can get to. All right, we'll have a break, okay? We'll continue the class at 2:50, okay? Because we still have quite a few to cover. All right, we just have 7 minutes break, all right? So go to the washroom if you need to.